Yes, y'all. Y'all know it. I am back. This is Vel without the Z once again. He had a family emergency pop up this week as well. And instead of us taking another bye, I think we took a bye week a few weeks ago. I said, guess what? The listeners, the viewers, y'all stuck with me again. Hopefully that's a good thing. I hope y'all appreciate my hot takes, my cold takes, my in between takes. But all together, hopefully you guys can listen to me and maybe regroup, maybe get some positive thoughts going into your head as we go into this bye week. But anyways, we back. I got my energy drink with me. Here chilling on my day off. Long busy weekend for most people. I hope all of our listeners enjoyed your Thanksgiving. Hopefully you got time to spend time with your family, with your loved ones, and just kind of stuff your face. Stuff your face, and maybe you ran into a couple great deals. I know there were Black Friday specials going on that didn't really feel like specials, but at the end of the day, it is what it is. It is what it is. It's all about being thankful. It's all about being around your loved ones. Like I said, eating good is obviously a part of the equation, and if you work in a field like mine, you also had to go to work. You had to put in that work. You had to be available and represent, be professional, etc. So that was kind of what I wanted to jump on first. So hopefully you guys enjoyed Thanksgiving. But obviously following Thanksgiving, there was a game to be played, guys. Jesus Christ, right? Wow. What a game. I think I came in here and predicted that we would win by one score. I know I said a few times, I don't know if I said it on here, that I felt like it was going to be upper teens, lower 20s, 24-16, somewhere in that realm. Thought it was going to be more of a defensive battle. And then when I saw the rain, I was like, oh, yeah, we're getting the Bills game that I thought we were going to get as far as just a tough physical game. And then the fireworks started happening. So first off, welcome back. You're in the zone with V and Z featuring Heavy Vel. Like I said, Z is taking care of a family emergency. So y'all make sure y'all, if y'all know him personally, y'all reach out to him, make sure he's good. But in the meantime, we gonna get through this together. Not gonna hold y'all long. This is one of those episodes where, since it is the bye week, we don't got a matchup to go over to the. We don't have a matchup to go into for this following week, but we can obviously regroup and discuss a little bit about what we went through on this past Sunday. But yeah, first things first, let's address the after the game stuff, and then we'll deep dive in the game. After the game, guys, I tell y'all to practice this all the time, and it may take y'all longer than it took myself, but please practice that 24-hour rule. I say that because I know we live in a city of Buffalo where there's not much going on. There's not much to distract you. And when it's football season, that's kind of all we can sit around and think about 24/7, especially when things not going well. This is a city that we move how the team moves sometimes. So if the team is killing, they blowing out people, everybody's moving around, enjoying life, etc., etc. When things are going bad, and we sitting there at 6-6 at the 10th spot right now in the AFC, it makes everybody miserable. It makes everybody miserable online. It makes everybody miserable in person sometimes. I want you guys to practice shaking that loose, because before it gets better, it may get worse. So that means this season may not go the way a lot of people want it to go, or it could. Either way, Bills Mafia, we have to develop some type of way to protect our feelings when things go bad for our team. Whether it's listening to other fans bash us, listening to other analysts bash us, or just watching TV in general, or watching the clips on your timeline, it's okay, guys, after a while to put the phone down. Now, me, I'm a big, during the game, phone in the hand, phone off to the side, phone in the hand, phone off to the side. Like, I'll do a little bit of back and forth. I've sat in some games where I didn't even touch my phone. I was just like, I'm pissed off right now. I want to touch my phone. Then there's some games where I'm just like, either I'm extra juiced up or not. Every once in a while, I'm getting on there talking my stuff. This past Sunday, if you follow me, Vel B Low, Vel B _low on Twitter. If you follow me, you would have seen I get a little rowdy, with my words online sometimes. And I try to refrain that, because I understand that I still have to be responsible with my platform. But yeah, there was times where I got a little edgy, a little extra juiced up, but all for the fun. I sat there on Sunday, watched it, um, obviously with my in-laws, and we had a couple Eagles fans over. Shout out to those two that were over with us. It's all love. We consider them family as well. Watching the game with them, and let me tell y'all something. It was tougher than what y'all probably was going through. Y'all probably watching it in a house full of Bills games, or maybe you was home alone. Y'all were probably watching it in a house full of Bills fans, or y'all might have been watching it home alone. Whatever the case may be, it's even tougher watching it with Eagles fans in your ear. Like, yeah, you see what's going on, but it's all fun for me. Like at the end of the day, I'm quick to, whether it's a Dolphins fans, Pat fan. I got all types of people mixed in between my family and my close circle. I got Pats fans, Dolphins fans, like I said, Eagles fans. Still gonna dap you up. Still gonna say good game. Man, shit trash, but fuck it. Good shit. Because guess what? If the tables turn, most people know me. Know I'm gonna talk my stuff. Know I'm gonna be, you know what I mean? But it's all love at the end of the day. I was in the midst of telling y'all that 24-hour rule is important, because no matter what you talk on that day, on that Sunday, even on that Monday, let it leak into Monday, man. We know about the Monday blues. Try not to let it impact your every single hour of the day, where you feel like you have to chirp back and forth with every fan, every commentator, every analyst, because you, whether you know it or not, fans, because I see a lot of y'all do it sometimes on the timeline, you're only making it worse for yourself. You're only making it worse for our fan base. Yeah, I get it. We're called the Bills Mafia, but we don't have to be crybabies. We all know that the refs did their best to control the first half, of course. But when it's 3 days after, 2 days, 4 days after, and we still crying about the refs, guys, they don't give out tissues at the end of every game, or give out awards for who can come up with the most excuses. We collectively, and I'm telling y'all to take my approach, because I'm one of the most, whatever word you want to use when it comes to when I watch my team play. Learn how to scale back when things don't go our way. Because guess what, guys? I've seen the worst of the worst losses, and granted, I've been quiet, right? Because I was like 3 years old. Probably was in the living room with my pops and my family and all of them when it happened, but I can't visually remember when it happened. But I've seen some horrible losses. I've seen some refs affect games. I've seen us come away with 5 interceptions against Dallas when I was in college and still find a way to lose the game in the final minute and a half while we were up by 9. I've seen some horrible losses. That one is up there with Kansas City, the one that we just lost. Is that one is, it wasn't in the playoffs, but this one, we knew we needed this game. We also knew we had it. And I think that's the toughest part for most fans right now as I'm trying to talk y'all through this. I think that's the toughest part that most fans dealt with. It's like, we want to point the finger at everybody right now, whether we jumping on analysts or whether we jumping on McDermott. For the life of most fans, they like, how did we let that game squeeze away? And there's a bunch of different stuff to look at. Like I said, we can dive into the game in a few minutes here, and we can point to the defense not being able to stop a nosebleed in the second half. We can point to miscommunication from Josh and Gabe on the final play in overtime when they had the ball. We can point to the James Cook drop in the first quarter. We can point to more drops that happened throughout the game. There's so many different things that went wrong, but there were also a bunch of things that went right. Because as I was talking to somebody the other day, I said, would as many people be calling for McDermott's head if Josh and Gabe scoring that game-winning touchdown in overtime, or Jake Elliott, great kicker, got him in fantasy, shout out to him. If he misses that 60-yard field goal in the pouring rain, by the way, if he misses that field goal, are we still having the same convos that I've been hearing now for 3-4 days straight? I'll answer that for you. No, we are not. Would people complain? Of course they would. But the amount of complaints I'm hearing now, because the result wasn't the result we wanted, it's crazy. You would think we walked into Philly and got blown out by 30 points the way some of y'all fans is talking. And like I said, we can point the blame at everybody. This is one of those games, man, football and most sports, is where, depending on the result, we can pick and choose who you want to blame. Sometimes coaches get it, coaches get fired. We're just seeing Frank Wright get fired for going 1-10 in Carolina. Sometimes coordinators get fired. We saw Ken Dorsey get fired about a week or two ago. Sometimes players get benched. We just seen Zach Wilson get benched. We just seen Mac Jones get benched. There's so many different ways when it comes to sports where you can just point fingers, you can bench this person, you can fire this person. But in a game that we brought the Super Bowl Philadelphia Eagles, team that was in the Super Bowl last year, in a game where we went to their house and the pouring rain put up over 500 yards and lost in overtime, we got more fans upset than I've seen them upset since 13 seconds. And I get it. If you look at our record and you look at us being up by 10 points in that game, it should have been 14, should have been 20 points. I get it. It's frustrating. But guys, let it go. And that sounds easy, right? Like, wow, Vel, as crazy as you be sounding sometimes, yeah, let it go. Because I'm also the same person every week. When I get on here, when we talk and I got Z next to me, I've said it to y'all even when I was solo. Don't let this team control your emotions on your day-to-day. Too many of y'all, I'm telling y'all right now, I've seen it. Too many of y'all, days after this game was over, was still fighting tooth and nail like these motherfuckers is yo goddamn mammy and pappy. Guys, it's a game. We got a bye week. What we hope for is these players, they regroup, they come out angry, they come out pissed off, and they come out with something to prove. Now, they got a tougher schedule than what they had 2 years ago when they went on that run. Because, you know, we reference that run all the time. 7-6, you lose to Tampa Bay, right? You know, Tom Brady walk-off touchdown to Chris Godwin. Boom, I was in the stadium for that. But I remember telling those same Bucks fans, and I say this story all the time, we're going to see y'all in the Super Bowl. Did we see him? No, but it was close, though, 13 seconds. But I remember leaving that stadium, I felt confident. I'm like, nah, y'all beat us in a walk-off touchdown with Tom Brady to GOAT. And y'all likely going to the Super Bowl. But I feel like we got to run. It's kind of the same way I feel now. Now, is it as easy as it was 2 years ago? Probably not. We don't have a bunch of below-average teams left on our schedule. The only below-average team is really two, but the one in particular is New England, obviously going through their quarterback changes and whatever else is going on. And then we got the Chargers on there that are trying to find different ways to lose games each week. But with that said, you got Kansas City up next. You got Dallas. You got the Chargers, like I said. You got New England, and you got Miami. That's the big one. That's the one me and my family going down there for, me and my gang. And that should be interesting. Because guess what? You know who don't want to go to Miami just to go, and the season is already over? Me. I've heard good things about Miami, but I do not need to go there if we just go in there and we already eliminated. So y'all should know more than anything, I'm the one that really wants us to stay in this fight because tickets already bought. I don't want to go down there for no reason. So, and I'm sure there's other Bills fans the same way that's going to Miami for that game. And they're like, I already caught my tickets and my everything for that trip. Bills, y'all better get it together. And long story short, I think they will. Like I said, I've done enough, in these first 10, 12 minutes here, kind of giving y'all my medicine on y'all crying online to let y'all know, like, it's still time left, y'all. We got this week coming up. We got a lot going on. We got a lot of chips that gotta fall, but I remember just not too long ago where we were in this situation before Josh Allen, when we had Tyrod Taylor, right? Let's not pretend we don't remember. And we had to beat the Colts in a snowy game, and we had to win 3 more games, and we needed Cincinnati to do this, and Tyler Boyd had to score a touchdown, and we were up crying because we broke the drought. Guys, even with Josh Allen at the quarterback, that does not mean that we will never have seasons that go like this. He's our quarterback, he's our franchise, but that does not mean that we won't have seasons that go haywire, because injuries happen, as we noticed this year. Injuries happen, fluky losses happen. It's still a week-to-week league, even though I know a lot of people tend to hate that term. Because you have your franchise guy, because you have a great wide receiver in Stephon Diggs, because you have great foundational players, does not mean that you will have a close to a 13-3 season every single year. And I think sometimes we forget that as fans. We get a little spoiled. You know what I mean? I thought about it. I'm like, man, 2 or 3 out of the last 4 years, we were basically clinching a spot or clinching fucking a division by week 14. That's 2 weeks from now. So we were going into mid-December already like, all right, we already locked down a division. Or, all right, we already locked down a playoff spot. Now it's about, let's get that 1 seed. We've been fighting for the 1 seed for so long now. Us as fans here, we done got to the point where we like, what the? How are we going to make it to the playoffs? Guys, they just started 2 years ago, allowing 7 teams to go. It's no longer 6. All right? 7 teams make it. Now, anything is possible. The Colts can hold on to that 7th spot and boom, yeah, it is what it is, right? With Gardner Minshew, C.J. Stroud and the Texans, they can hold on to their spot. Pittsburgh, whatever. But guys, I don't see it like that. I'm looking at the next month and a week, 5-6 weeks, and I'm just like, I really feel like things will change in the AFC. The good teams will rise to the occasion. The Baltimores, Kansas City, you know, they'll do what they got to do to obviously be in the dance. You know, really mainly those two. And we'll see what happens with the rest. We'll see what happens with Cincinnati, where they scrape and claw with their backup quarterback. Will Pittsburgh be able to stay afloat? Will Cleveland Browns be able to do it with their backup? There are so many things that we don't know. Well, Miami, will they be able to stay hot and ride their wave? I mean, Miami looks good. Miami looks like the 3rd best team in the AFC right now behind Baltimore and Kansas City. But the point still stands. Last 5-6 weeks of the league is where you really, I know it sounds like people say this a lot, but no, this is really where shit gets shaken right before the playoffs. This is really where teams hit their stride. Bills are now coming off back-to-back weeks where they look like themselves on offense. And for me, that's what I love as we go into December, is that we can talk about the defense, and the defense coming off one great game, then they looked very, very inconsistent against Philly, especially in that second half. But I'm confident that this offense, after playing the Jets and the Eagles, 2 of the better defenses we'll face. I know we got Dallas coming up pretty soon. Kansas City been playing good on defense. But Jets defense and Philadelphia's defense. Philadelphia has their holes, but they got the names. For us to go out and put 30 back-to-back after struggling to get 15 points against fucking Denver and struggling to get 15 points versus the Giants, to be able to go out and put together 30 plus straight points and have Josh Allen look like himself, get that swagger back, get that juice back in his system. And let me tell you something. If I'm a team left on the schedule, I'm not looking forward to playing the Buffalo Bills. I don't care what y'all say. We can cry about Philly all we want to. That game is over. We can cry about every fan dogging Josh. We can cry about every analyst dogging Josh. On to the next one. And that's the mentality we got to have, because the players definitely got to have it. The players got to move on from it the next day. And that's what kind of helped me kind of embody that 24-hour rule, was I was like, man, what do these players get taught when they go back to the locker room on Monday, or when they go back into their meetings on Monday? You look at the tape and you know what the coaches say, now we got to turn the page. So I urge you, fans, I'm here to tell you, turn the page. We lost it. Cool. We can point at the refs. We can point at X, Y, and Z. It's not going to change the fact that Bills got to still finish the year on a high note. Or maybe you one of those few fans out there, for whatever nutty reason, that want to see the Bills fall short just so McDermott gets fired. Cool. If that's your thing, I won't consider you a real Bills fan, because that is just stupid. You know, if you start to look at the draft board and say, well, if we lose, listen. Don't sit or talk to me if you one of those Bills fans that want to lose out, or you want to whatever. You don't care what happens the rest of the way because you're done with the coach. You sit over there in the corner by yourself, or you sit with the 20%, 30% of fans who just want to live in misery and want to go through a coaching head search and believe that the Pagulas are going to make the right decision. Yeah, good luck with that, buddy. Yeah, these coaches out here, they come a dime a dozen. I mean, these good coaches that last 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 15, 20 years, they don't come around often. And I want fans to remember that. You know, as we talk about firing McDermott, and I get it. Oh, well, if you got Josh, you can almost win with any coach. Think that if you want to. Look what's going on with the Chargers. They got Justin Herbert, who I think is a pretty good quarterback, top 10 quarterback. They can't win with him because of their coach. Point blank, period. We seen what happens when sometimes the head coach and the coach ain't the best match, and then boom. So if y'all want to put y'all faith and Pagula and whoever else to hire the next great coach. That's up to y'all. I'm not there yet. I want to see where the chips gonna fall at the end of the season, and then we'll revisit the whole convo. Too many of y'all trying to have this convo in November, like we not right in the thick of the race. I know it say we at the 10th spot, but we're literally just one game behind with 5 games to go, and some of y'all ready to blow this shit up. Like y'all not even thinking about how crazy that sounds. It's not like we one game behind with 2 games left. That'd be complete panic mode for me. I'd be like, God damn, I don't know what we're gonna do. We're 1 game out of 7th spot, or half game even, but we're 1 game out of the 7th spot, and we got people online ready to blow it all up because we done lost a couple games by 3 or 4 points. Granted, we should have won most of our close games this year, but this is not called the shoulda, woulda, coulda league. It's not. It's the NFL. Doesn't matter. Denver lost a game this year by 50 points and have now won 5 in a row. I don't think y'all understand that how crazy that is. They lost a game this year by 50 points. And right now, they are one of the hottest, if not the hottest team in the league. Forget Philly. Denver Broncos right now the hottest team in the league. No matter how much we want to critique Russell Wilson, critique the coach, that's real. What they're doing is real. They're winning in the NFL week to week, and they're on a roll. Now, can that stop? Maybe did they get hot too early? We'll find out. We'll find out, because I always say the best time to get hot is in December. November is cool, but how you looking in December? Because a couple years ago when we rolled on teams in the playoffs and Josh was looking at his best, it was because December we was lights out. Like our point differential was like 30. We was beating teams by like 30 points in December. Give me that Bills team. Now it's going to be tougher, obviously, this December because we got Kansas City, we got Dallas, we got the Chargers. You're not going to beat those teams by 30 points. Maybe the Chargers, maybe New England. But Kansas City and Dallas, I don't expect us to beat them by 30. If it does happen, glorious. I'm sure them same fans that was calling a couple weeks ago or this week, they're going to be saying something different in a couple weeks. That's why I say never talk too soon. But yeah, I think I touched on most of my rants when it comes to this game and like my overall reaction. I mean, the game itself was lovely. Outside of the rain, I would have loved the Bills-Philly game to be played in, 55, 60 degree weather. I could even take gray skies, but the fact that it had the rain, the ball was wet, you could tell how it affected the players. Obviously, Diggs had a couple drops, and he doesn't really drop the ball at all. James Cook had one. That ball was slippery, and they still managed to put up over 500 yards of offense. So, again, shout out to the offense because I really feel like if this is the groove that we going into, this is the perfect time to feed off that because guess what? You're going to play a high-scoring offense with Kansas City, because their offense been a little mid. We got a high-scoring offense with Dallas. Chargers can put up points, as we know. And then you got Miami to close out the year. So it's like, it's a great time to get that offense humming. If we can get the defense to make a timely stop, they've done it a couple times this year. Giants game, even though some claim the hold wasn't caught on that last play. The defense has made their plays here and there throughout the year, but we're going to need a couple game-changing plays from this defense down the stretch. And I hope, my hope is that the leaders on that defense are each talking to each other going into this great month of December and just saying, hey, guys, Josh going to be Josh. Diggs going to be Diggs. Gabe going to be Gabe. Cook going to be Cook. We need to make sure we're closing out these games for our offense. I really, really hope that's the message because to me, that was probably my biggest takeaway was that outside of what the refs did, outside of Josh having his one turnover, which I'll get into in 2 seconds, the defense, again, with a chance to make a stop to get the other offense off the field, they could not make that stop. And that's been kind of a little bit of the frustration I feel like from fans. It's like, wait, now McDermott, you're in charge of the defense. And how is it in crucial moments we're not making the stops? Or how is it in crucial moments we're calling the wrong play? A blitz here that doesn't need to be needed. So that's something that McDermott and that defense got to work on because guess what? You got a whole month to work on making up for those blunders that we've had early part of the season. Because at 6-6, you're basically, let's say you're 0-0 right now. I need you guys to go 4-1. 5-0 would be lovely. I need the Bills to go 4-1 on this stretch, and we're in the playoffs. Because quiet as kept, what people don't understand is 10 wins gets you in the playoffs this year. People going to fool you. They're going to say, no, they got to win every single game. Realistically, guys, 10 wins get you in the playoffs this year in the AFC. It's just gonna happen. So the Bills got to make sure, obviously, they take care of all their AFC games. That's number one. They got one NFC opponent left on there, which is Dallas. Hey, I would love for them to win them all, but if they're gonna lose one of those games, preferably I would want it to be Dallas, only because of it is an NFC team. But again, the goal for the Bills is, hey, win every single game if you can, but 4 out of 5, and I think that you get in. And like I said, the focus going in got to be on the defense, just making timely stops. Like I don't need you to hold teams under 10 points or under 20 points. You can give up 21 points. You can give up 22 points. And for all I care, I just need you when the game is in the trench, when it's in the fourth quarter, and we need to get the ball back to Josh so that we can just run out the clock. I need you guys to make a play. And there's been times when they have. They've made interceptions, forced fumbles. The defense as a whole has been pretty steady this year. I mean, if you think about the injuries from Daquan Jones to Matt Milano to Tre'Davious White, those 3 guys right there were on track to have Pro Bowl years. Tre'Davious White was starting to get like himself. I think he had like an interception the game before he got hurt. Matt Milano, we already know what he was doing. Daquan Jones was playing at an incredible rate. So we're talking about 3 Pro Bowlers potentially down for the whole year. And granted, every team deals with injuries. So don't be the one fan that's like, oh, but look at this. Every team got it. Every team has missed a key player for a week or two, and some have even missed them for a whole year like we have. But the main thing is that the defense now going down the stretch, I'm pretty confident right now that the offense is going to be fine. It's now for me defense. Like defense, I need you guys to, if we giving the ball away once a game, I need y'all to give me 2 takeaways a game. And that may be a lot to ask, but 2 takeaways a game for the rest of the year, and I think we're in great position. Now to the Josh Allen conversation. I'll end with this because it was talked about on ESPN. It was talked about amongst fans. It even got fans upset. Guys, I'm going to tell y'all, and I'm going to be real with y'all. It wasn't until this year that I accepted the fact that Josh is going to most likely average a turnover a game while wearing a Bills uniform. I had to accept it this year. You guys have to understand, these analysts aren't Bills fans. They're not going to be biased. They're not watching every single snap like we are. It's okay for them to complain about turnovers, guys, because we see it and we just accept it because that's our franchise quarterback. That's our Josh. Only we can talk about him. Guys, other analysts are going to talk about Josh Allen. Other fan bases are going to talk about Josh Allen. He is just one of those guys, kind of like a Dak Prescott and Lamar Jackson at times. Pat isn't really kind of in his own categories. I'll leave Pat alone. He got the rings and all that. But these types of guys like Josh are just so polarizing, where it's like they can give you effort in a game like you've never seen before, but they can also do things that make you scratch your head and say, did you see that? What the fuck was that? Or what was he thinking? He is just one of those players, like that's why he gets compared a lot to Brett Favre, John Elway, and those guys, because he gonna give you 1 head scratcher a game, maybe 2. And we've accepted that. We have to learn that other fans and other analysts are not going to accept that because they don't have to. They're going to talk shit. As long as you are a Bills fan and as long as Josh Allen's our quarterback, we have to develop a backbone. I already have the backbone. I'll still defend Josh. But I already have a backbone when it comes to Josh because I know how crazy that motherfucker is. Josh is a crazy player, y'all. A crazy superstar, 3-headed monster of a player who is going to get criticized. I mean, he's going to get praised when he's balling out, but he's going to get criticized when he throws an interception. You just have to live with that. And that's what I wanted to end with, because I saw the convos on the ESPN. I saw the convos in different networks where like, is such and such Josh's fault? Is this and that? No. Now, those convos are stupid, right? We know that Josh is the reason why they're even in most of these games, if not all of them. But to the outside folks looking in, they do watch these games and samples, and they're just like, well, anytime I flick on a Bills game, I'm seeing a Josh Allen interception. I'm seeing a Josh Allen fumble. I'm seeing him at the end of overtime with his head down and his cheeks red. Those are some of the lasting images of some of these classic games. Think about the last 3 classic games that we've called Game of the Year that featured the Buffalo Bills. One was this last week with Philly. What's the last image you see of Josh Allen? Head down. He gave it everything he could, but whatever. Last year, Minnesota Bills. We know how that game went. We gave up a 17-point lead. Josh throws an interception in the end zone in that game to Patrick Peterson. Game over. Kansas City, 13 seconds. Every one of those games, the Bills and Josh Allen, since he's the quarterback, gets looked at as the person responsible. And unfortunately, guys, you got to remember this too. What they say, heavy is the guy who wears the crown, or whatever the term is. Same thing that happened with LeBron James. Guys, who are you fans of growing up? Who was your favorite basketball player? Most going to say Kobe or LeBron or AI. How much were those guys criticized throughout their career? All of them Hall of Famers. Rest in peace, Kobe. LeBron going to definitely be a Hall of Famer. AI, Hall of Famer. Shaq. Like, these guys got criticized too, and we have to realize now that we have our own superstar, it's going to happen. Develop a backbone. Because I'm telling you right now, we on day 3 or day 4 online, and I'm still seeing people upset about Josh, and Josh being thrown in this debate, and Josh being thrown in that. Guys, we have a superstar. And that superstar, anytime we start losing, is going to be looked at. Hey, it's you, it's his fault, it's his fault, it's his fault, whether it is or not. And like I said, we've accepted the fact that he throws a pick a game. Unfortunately, guys, that is not the norm. Aaron Rodgers once proved that, and I know Aaron Rodgers is like top of the top when it comes to evaluating quarterbacks. Aaron Rodgers would throw 40 touchdowns in his sleep and only throw 4 interceptions. Does that mean Josh is not great? Nah. Josh back there throwing 40, 50 times a game. Of course he's going to throw a pick. Plus, he's one of those quarterbacks that like to take risks. He likes to take chances. He like to fit it in tough areas. But that's all I want to say on that. Because like I said, I mean, this has been a rough, emotional week for most Bills fans. And it's my job to be like that therapist, man. Because I am Mr. Motivator / positive person / leader on and off the pod. You know, it just comes with my profession. But for real, guys, we got to suck it up. This is still a whole month ahead of us of football. And you know, they use that term, touch grass, go outside. Please get some air. I know it's snow outside now, so shovel. Do something to take your mind off of football. Do something to take your mind off of whatever. Because there is more to life. We're in the holiday season now. Continue to be thankful for waking up. Continue to be thankful for life. Continue to be thankful for the fact that you have a vehicle to drive to work in these weather conditions. Because it ain't going to slow down. We're going to get more snow. We're going to get more freezing temperatures. So I need everybody to kind of shift their focus to the things that really matter in life. And I always like to end that way because, like I said, I am one of the most dramatic fans of me. If you've ever watched the game with me, or if you've ever talked football with me, or if you ever see me at the stadium, I be in my own world. But guess what? It's just like when Batman put on his cape and then take it off when he go elsewhere. I know how to undress and do like that. Learn it, folks. Learn it, folks. I'm telling you, the best skill I ever developed was being able to take a deep breath, and after I get out all my frustration, and just move on. Like I said, we have a franchise quarterback and a team that has been competing for the last 5-6 years. Be thankful for that. What comes with having a kind of team like we have, what comes with having a type of quarterback we have, is a lot of praise when we're doing well and a lot of criticism when we aren't. We just got to deal with it. We don't listen, if you want to do what I do when I get home and just not watch the sports channels, do that. It works for me. Last 2 or 3 days I've been home, I've been trying to find Christmas movies. I've been trying to find movies I haven't watched. I watched Head of State the other day, bits and pieces of it, with Bernie Mac, rest in peace, and Chris Rock. Get creative with it. Watch something else. Watch some cartoons, goddammit. But yeah, just the temperature of the Bills Mafia the last 3-4 days has almost been sickening. It's like I need some of y'all to really get outside. Like, for real. Get outside, please. If you got kids, tend to your kids. You got parents, make sure they doing well. We gotta get the tissue boxes, wipe our tears, and move on. It's still a month left of football. We're one game out of a playoff spot, and I got fans saying they ready to blow it up. Get a grip. And that's all I'm gonna say. Like I said, it's me, Vel, holding it down by myself without Z. Z will be back. Just taking care of family business. But like I said, y'all, it wasn't too much of a deep dive needed for this next week coming up. It's the bye week. You can root for who you want to root for. I'm sure they'll be putting out some information online soon of who we should be rooting for, who we should not be rooting for. Quick shout out to the Knicks. I've been watching a little more basketball lately to also take my mind off it. Knicks playing well. Syracuse, I think they've been playing well too recently. So yeah, find some shit to do. Go outside, man. Go do what I just did, on my day off, which was run errands and pick up gift supplies and do a little Christmas shopping if you have the funds to do so. But nah, man, go outside, get active, man. Stay blessed, stay grounded. Just remember that this is all entertainment. Like I said, after the first 24 hours, I know how frustrating it is because I'm one of the most active motherfuckers online sometimes when we in the heat of the moment. But then there comes a time when I look at some of my stuff. I may even delete a couple tweets, and I'll be like, all right, time to step back. I'm good. Life goes on. So yeah, just learn those techniques, man. Take my word. I've been doing this now, being an emotional Bills fan since I was about 8, 9 years old. So we talking about damn near almost 30 years. I've been emotionally attached to this team. So hang in there, y'all. We got 5 more games, 6 more weeks, I believe. 5 to 6 more weeks left for this thing called the NFL season, regular season, I should say. Hopefully y'all doing good in y'all fantasy football. I know I'm number 1 in one of my leagues and like number 6 or 7 in my other league. So I'm trying to climb in that one because that's one with the more bread on the line. But yeah, man, y'all go after y'all fantasy matchups and y'all lineups. Y'all take care of y'all families. Stay bundled up. I actually did something smart today for the first time in many winters, and I bought like 2 pairs of gloves. I ain't did that since maybe I was living in Syracuse, maybe. But go out there, have some fun. Take your mind off football for a week since it is a bye week. I mean, even if you want to watch football, maybe take your mind off of the Bills related stuff and just enjoy maybe a little bit of football. I don't know. That sounds good, but I know y'all can't do that. But nah, man, listen, go out there and prepare yourself for the next holiday we got coming up, which is Christmas. Check on your loved ones. Like I said, stay bundled up, and I'm gonna catch y'all next week. Peace out.